And welcome to today's video, everybody. Alan Warren, the RV Wingman here. And I must tell you that I struggled a bit with today's title. Part of my brain said, RV Lemon Lawyer names names. Another part of my brain said, no. How about putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound? And I think either one would be accurate. Regardless, thank you for joining me. As you know, I'm big time into people doing their homework before they buy an RV. And in spite of me pushing this for years, most people don't. They don't do their homework, and many don't do any homework at all. Then when a problem comes up with their RV, they become indignant, angry. When it comes to RVs, they are an animal unique to themselves. They're not cars, even though some of them seem kind of like cars. They're not simply a trailer, because what is a trailer anyway? Are they all the same? So understanding what RVs are and what an RV warranty may or may not include is, I think, something that's important to know. Up now, we'll rejoin a man who knows how the RV game is played, and he's seen and heard more RV horror stories than anyone. His name is Ron Burdge, the badass RV lemon lawyer, and we'll pick it up with the subject of RV owners who have warranty issues, and their warranty, though, is ticking away. Time is running out while their RV is in the shop. Did you know that you may be able to get an extension on that warranty at no extra cost?
Because if you don't ask, it's just going to run out, and all of a sudden, poof, you're really screwed.
Yep.
I mean, as the consumer. So I guess that's one reason why y'all are so busy there. I mean, seriously, you know, the lack of communication, but it's not just the manufacturers. I mean, do they frame their situation to where they're protected? You bet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they'd be foolish not to. But at the same time, you've got the consumers over here that do stupid things. I mean, it's not stupid. They just don't know. They don't understand how important reading that paperwork is and understanding what they're buying and who they're buying it from.
I think there is some truth to that, certainly. When you buy a Ford, a Chevy, a regular car that's brand new, you don't have to send a letter to the factory. You know, you just simply take it into the dealer and they take care of things. And if you end up having to get a hold of the factory, it's because the dealer failed enough times to where your aggravation got you there. But you don't see in those warranties the requirement that you notify them by certified mail every time you're going in to complain about something at the dealer. You know, that's just simply a trap that they are building into their warranties so they can try to get out of being responsible for having built it bad in the first place.
I know that you make your living off of bad RVs. I know you do. But at the same time, they're not all bad. They're not. But you know, if you it's the yin and yang, the give and take. You've got to be a good consumer, a good owner. You've got to take care of your maintenance and not expect to have bought a Ford F-150, because you're not going to ever find an RV that's put together like a Ford or a Chevy. It ain't going to happen.
Well, I wouldn't say it isn't going to happen at all. There is one manufacturer that I think in 35 years now, I've only had 2 cases with, only 2, and that's it. You know, I can't say that about any other.
Can you tell me who they are? Can you tell me who they are? Because
Sure.
I promise you, there's people that are going to go,
Airstream.
Who is it? Airstream.
Yep, that's it. And I'm not sure why, but they seem to be more attentive to the quality at the get-go. And you don't see that many complaints out here on the road. Now, I'm sure there's a bad one out there someplace, but just not that many statistically. You talk about any of the others, the other big 3 or 4, however you want to count it, and boy, they keep us busy.
What about the parts situation? You know, the dealers will say, well, you know, I can't get, I would get to it, but they don't have the parts, and we're waiting on that. And how does that affect me, the consumer, and my RV and the warranty and a possible lemon law claim?
Well, you're back at the same point of a problem again. And really, it's a problem that the dealer doesn't have a lot of control over, but the factory does. The real problem there is that when a dealer needs parts, 99 times out of 100, they get them from the factory that built the RV, or they try to get them from there. And because you're dealing with a product that gets changed regularly, sometimes in major ways, but almost always in minor ways, every single model year, you may not be able to get those parts 2 years from now or 1 year from now, and sometimes 6 months from now. But if it goes bad, whatever it is, your obligation as an owner is to complain to the dealer and also notify the factory of it. If they have to order a part, If you can use the vehicle, you're allowed to do that, certainly, but there's some parts that just make it so that you can't really use it at all. And in that case, you're stuck. You're stuck having to make payments. But your rights, you need to keep that in mind. They have to get any problem that is covered by warranty repaired within a reasonable amount of time. And that's the real kicker. It becomes a matter of what's reasonable.
I was going to ask you, how do you determine reasonable? What's the average length of a piece of string? I don't know. No, seriously, what is reasonable to you may not be reasonable to me. And I'm all about trying to be level-headed and take the high road, yet don't be a doormat for anybody. And so that's, we're trying to find the sweet spot. And, for too many people, they either don't recognize it early enough or they find themselves in a bad position.
Yeah, you're right about that. And what's reasonable depends on the circumstances. If you've got a part, for instance, that they know has a history of problems. There's some chassis out there right now, 2 model years, the complete model years of this particular manufacturer is towable. They all have chassis problems and cracks. But the problem is that you don't really know that until it happens to you. The dealer knows and the factory knows, and they're just waiting for people to bring them in. And if they don't bring them in, then you just drive down the road until it happens to you. And if it's out of warranty, you're stuck. But if it's in warranty, they ought to have those parts that are necessary to fix that problem ready to go. There shouldn't be any weight on it because they know it's there. So under that circumstance, reasonable might only be a few days or a week, because you can ship something by FedEx across the country in a matter of a couple of days. That's the kind of thing you have to look at. Is it a part of some sort that they can't get and there's a good reason why, or is this something where basically it's the factory's fault because they didn't get their act together?
Are you talking about a nationwide manufacturer recall on these chassis?
No.
That's
the interesting thing about it. They didn't do a recall. Instead, they issued a bulletin to the dealers that said, these 2 model years of this particular kind of a unit here that we built, look out for cracks. If somebody comes in, this is where you'll find the crack. And if it's there, then this is what you do. But the real odd thing about it is they're having a limited repair of that cracked frame done, not a total fix. So it's going to be a Band-Aid essentially, and probably another couple of years down the road, there'll be a problem.
Oh my gosh. Do you mind? Can I ask you who the manufacturer is? Or
I'll tell you what, you send me an email, I'll send it to you.
Because I know a lot of people out there going, oh my God, did I happen to get one of those?
I'll tell you right now that they're 5th wheels, and all you have to do is look under the hook. Right there on the front, under the hook, look for a crack in that body area. The body area there is fiberglass. And when that body gets moved around because the frame under it is cracking, that's where you're going to see a crack. The real problem is
how old are these units that you're talking about? Are these 2021s, 22s? What year models?
22s.
So get up underneath and look for any kind of a crack, a stress crack, or any kind of
it'll be a stress crack, and it'll run vertical for the most part. And that's because the parts, so to speak, is like that, and it's being shifted because the crack in the frame is putting stress in different areas on it.
So if I purchased one of those and I see that crack, what do I do? I mean, I don't want to own something that, I don't want to put a Band-Aid over a gunshot wound.
Yeah, you got to get it back into the factory right away and don't take a chance. You need to give them an opportunity to repair it. The question is going to be, is the repair that they're doing proper? But they haven't done a recall.
Right.
There have been a couple of recalls on cracked frames over the last 6-8 months, but this particular manufacturer that I'm talking about, they haven't done that. Instead, they're just issuing bulletins to dealers and waiting for people to find the problem.
You're still doing your, I can't remember what you call them, but they're RV recalls, the announcements on your Facebook page that, if there's
Monday morning recalls, we're still doing those and sending those out.
Are you getting more and more things that qualify? More recalls going on or not?
Yeah. And in the course of about the last year, there was only one Monday when there wasn't any RV recalls.
If you made it this far in today's video, do you see more now than you did 15 minutes ago? I'll bet you do. Now, not all RVs are junk. They aren't. Don't go down that rabbit hole. Too many are, but not all of them. The main thing is to own our decisions, whatever we decide to buy, and to educate yourself by reading, by watching videos like this one. I'm most grateful to you for watching, and especially to Ron Burdge. He's such a terrific resource of valuable information. You can learn more about what may or may not be a lemon RV for free at rvlemonlaw.com. If you're catching the video version of today's show, you can click on the description below and find a link right there. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.